Now for this given DFA, now we try to convert it into the regular expression using the Arden's theorem, and after that we will be discussing about the state elimination method. So that is also one more method used for converting the given deterministic finite automata to the regular expression. Now this is one more DFA. Now for this DFA we have to find out what is the regular expression. Now in our previous example what we have taken is, so we have found out only the value for Q3. Why we find the value for Q3? Because we have only one final state. If you have a close look at the given diagram DFA, you can see here we have only Q3, means only one final state is there. Now if you look at this example, so in this DFA we have two final states. Now when we have two final states, now the solution which we are going to get, it will be not simply Q1, not simply Q2. It is the union of Q1 plus Q2. Okay, so whatever the solution we are going to get, so that solution will be the union of Q1 plus Q2. Okay, so again I am telling you here plus is nothing but the union operation, not the normal addition what we are thinking of. Okay, now please go ahead and straight away we go for writing down the values for Q1, Q2 and Q3. So if you go for Q1, how many incoming edges are there? Only one incoming edge. That too it is coming from Q1 on 0, as it is the initial state, so hence we are going to add epsilon also. Okay, so Q1 is equal to Q1 into 0 plus Q1 is equal to Q1 into 0 plus epsilon. Epsilon. Okay, that is Q1. Then what about Q2 here? Q2. So how many incoming transitions are there for Q2? We have two incoming transitions. One is Q1 on 1 and the second one is Q2 on 1. So that is the reason why for Q2 we have to write Q1 on 1, Q1 on 1 plus Q2 on 1. Q2 on 1. Okay. Now it has been done. Then what about Q3 here? Have a look at this. What about Q3? For Q3 we have Q2 on 0 and on Q3 0 plus 1. Okay. For Q3 is equal to Q2 on 0 plus, you can see here Q2 on 0 plus Q3 on 0 plus 1. Q3 on 0 plus 1. In the sense Q3 into 0 plus 1. Okay. Now let us assume that this is my expression 1. First equation. And this is my second equation. And this is my third equation. This is my third equation. Okay. Now what we have to actually find out, we need to find out the value of Q1 plus Q2. Q1 plus Q2. This is what we need to find out. Okay. Now please observe. Now just have a look at this one first equation. Now if you look into this, now as per our formula, what is our formula? R is equal to Q plus RP. So this is R, okay, and this is Q, and this is R, and this is P. Now already it was in a simplified form. So now what I am going to get is, so the solution will be R is equal to QP star. What is Q here? Q is nothing but epsilon into, what is P star here? P star will be 0 star. P star will be 0 star. Now epsilon anything into, epsilon into anything will be resulting in epsilon. So anything. So that's the reason we are going to get 0 star. Okay. So for your reference, again I am going to write over here R is equal to Q plus RP. Then the solution R is equal to QP star. R is equal to QP star. Now, as per our example here, where capital R is equal to Q1, okay, and then Q is equal to epsilon. Q is equal to epsilon, okay. Then P is equal to 0. P is equal to 0. So from that we got this equation. Okay, so now I am calling it like a fourth equation. I am calling it like a fourth equation. Then next, now in order to find out our result, we got Q1. The next thing what we need to do is we need to get Q2 also. We need to get Q2 also. Okay. Now in order to get that Q2 value, now what I will do, already I have this Q2 expression. In this Q2, now I am going to substitute the value of Q1. Okay. So now here substitute 4 in 2. Now I am going to substitute 4 in 2. Okay. Now once I do that, now it will be something like Q2 is equal to Q1 into 1. Already we know what is Q1 is. The value of Q1 is 0 star. 0 star 1. Q1 into 1, 0 star 1 plus Q2 into 1. Now I am going to consider it like, or no problem, straight away you can take. Now please observe, now is it in the form like this form is not? Please observe, now the given equation is available in this form or not? You can see here, now it is available in this form. So now here I am writing where the value of R is Q2 and Q is 0 star 1. 0 star 1 and P is also 1 because this is, so this is Q plus R P is 1. Okay. Now as per that, now I am going to get the answer. What is the answer? The solution will be R is equal to QP star. What is Q? 0 star 1. Q P star. What is that? 1 star. Okay. So Q is 0 star 1. P is 1. So the answer will be 0 star 1 star. Now I am calling this equation like 5. Now please observe here. Now we got the value of state Q1 and I got the value of state Q2. Let me change the color. I got the value of Q1 and as well as I got the value of Q2 also. Now in order to find out the result of Q1 plus Q2, can I stop my processing over here? Do I need to work on Q3? No, it is not required to work on Q3. Why? Because so this Q3 is not playing any role. So hence what I can do, I am not going to work with this third state, Q3 state. Now this will become the useless state. Now this is going to be the useless state. Okay. Now finally, now what I am going to do, I am going to do the union of Q1 plus Q2. What is Q1? Which is 0 star. Okay. 0 star plus what is Q1? Q2, 0 star 1, 1 star. You can see here 0 star 1, 1 star. Okay. Now please observe 0 star this one. Okay. Now if you observe thoroughly, is it possible for us to simplify this expression? Can someone? Yes. Is it possible to simplify this expression? Yes. Obviously we could do that. How? Can we take 0 star as common? Yes, we are going to take. So take 0 star as common. Once we take 0 star as common, so in the place of this, so we are going to get epsilon. Okay, so it will be, sorry, so it will be epsilon. So here we'll get epsilon plus plus, and here what we'll get from this, if you remove 0 star as common, if you take 0 star as common, it will be 1 1 star, 1 1 star. Now please remember, we have an identity rule. So here I am going to write the rule also, identity rule. What is that identity rule? So the identity rule is epsilon plus r r star. Epsilon plus r star is equal to r star itself. Is equal to r star itself. Now as per that rule, now what I am writing, so it will be something like epsilon plus 1 1 star, it will result in 1 star. So finally the answer will be 0 star 1 star, 0 star 1 star. In the sense, now please observe that now this is the DFA which is going to accept zeros and ones. You can see here, you can see here. So check whether sequence of zeros are accepted or not. You can see here only zeros, yes, and then you can see here ones are accepted or not. Yes, ones are also accepted. Okay, and the combinations of zeros and ones are also accepted. You can see here the combinations of zeros and ones are also accepted. So finally, this is going to be the regular expression for our given DFA. Okay, so this is the regular expression for our given DFA. Understood? Okay, so this is how we are going to solve our given. I mean, we are going to find our given regular expression. So using the Arden's theorem, right? Now let's have a look at one more very important theorem, which is the not the theorem, which is a method called the state elimination method. Now, before going to discuss about this state elimination method with the help of some example, let me tell you few important points, like a few steps which we have to remember when we are going to use this. Okay, now let us observe that we are having a DFA with some states like this. For example, let us assume that we have a DFA with some states, okay, like this. Now for example, this is my initial state, this is my initial state, and all these are my intermediate states. So this is my intermediate state, this is also my intermediate state, and we are having some transitions like this. For example, let us observe that on input 0 comma 1 I have some transition, on input 0 comma 1 I have some transition, and this is also on input 0 comma 1 I am going to have some transition. Okay, now if you observe thoroughly, so what this state elimination method says that we need to go for removing all the states. Okay, please try to understand. The name itself says that state elimination method means we need to eliminate the states, or we need to remove the states. But what type of states we are supposed to remove? Okay, so when we want to remove the states, we need to be very sure that, so we need to remove only those states which are except the initial state and final state, initial state and final state. So that is the first thing which we have to remove. What is the first point? So we need to remove all the states except initial and final states, initial and final states. Now you can see here, so what is the initial state here? So this is my initial state, this is my initial state. Okay, so this is my initial state and this is my final state. Now I should not go for using the state elimination method, I should not go for removing these two states. But whatever the intermediate state comes, intermediate in the sense the states which comes in between the initial and the final states, so such all those such states has to be removed. Now for example, let us observe that what is the initial, I mean intermediate state we have in between these two. This is the intermediate state, so hence what we have to do, we need to remove this one. Okay, now let us observe that I am having few intermediate states like this. In between this initial and final state, I am having four states like this. I am having four states. Okay, now when I have four states, now what I need to suppose to do is I need to remove all those four states. Okay, now please remember that it doesn't matter how many number of states you are having inside your DFA. So without worrying about the number of states, so you need to remove all the states so except the initial and final state. Okay, so this is our first point, which is a very important point. Okay, then the second point is, the second very important point is, please remember the second important point is, if the initial state, please try to understand, if the initial state has, if the initial state has any incoming transitions, please try to understand. Okay, if the initial state has any incoming transitions, then add a new initial state. Then we need to add a new initial state and specify the epsilon transition, and specify the epsilon transition from the new initial state to the old initial state. Old initial state. I hope you are not able to understand the theoretical part, but let me explain this with a simple example. Okay, let us observe that this is my initial state. Okay, and I am having some intermediate states like this, and this is my final state, and this is my final state. Okay, and as this is my initial state, so okay, so this is my initial state. Okay, now I am going to specify the transitions like this. I am going to specify the transitions. Let us observe that we have the transitions like this. Like this, we have some transitions. Now forget about what about the input variables on which we are going to have the transitions. No need to worry about that. Now please try to understand. So what is the initial state here? Let me change the color. So this is my initial state. This is my initial state. Okay, this is my initial state. Now what I have to do is I need to check for this initial state whether I have any incoming transitions. Please remember, for an initial state, whether I am having any incoming transitions or not. Now if I look into this diagram or DFA, yes, I am having one incoming transition. I am having one incoming transition. Let's number 1, 2, 3, 4. Now for my initial state 1, I am having one incoming transition from 4. Now as I am having the incoming transition for my initial state 1, now what I have to do is, now please try to understand, now what I have to do is, now I need to introduce, now I need to introduce a new initial state. Please try to understand. Now I need to introduce a new initial state. So these are the rest of the states. They are going to remain as it is. They are going to remain as it is. Okay, and this is state 1. So all the states are going to remain as it is. 2, this is 4, and this is 3. So the transitions are also going to remain as it is, like from 1 to 2 same, 2 to 3 same, 3 to 4 is also there, and 4 to 1 is also there. Okay. Now, as this initial state is having one incoming transition, hence we introduce a new initial state called 0. Now, this is going to be my new initial state. So, this is going to be my new initial state. This is my new initial state. Now from this new initial state, what we have to do, and what is the old initial state? As per our diagram, 1 is the old initial state. So this is the old initial state. Now what we have to do now, we need to specify some epsilon transition from the old initial state to the new initial state. So why we have to do that? The reason is very simple. So always we need to make sure that from the initial state we need to have only the outgoing transitions. Initial state should not have any incoming transition. That's it. That's the only idea. Remember that. So as the initial state should have only the outgoing transitions, it should not have any incoming transitions. That is the reason why. So here we are going to introduce a new initial state. Now what is the new initial state? Now it will become now 0 is going to be the initial state, but not 1. Okay, so that is what this second rule says. Now go for the third rule. So what the third rule says, that if the final state, now it is completely opposite to the initial state. If the final state has any outgoing transitions, please remember, if the final state has any outgoing transitions, then add a new final state, and specify the epsilon transitions, from the old final states to the new final state. Okay, now what we have to do? So let me explain with some example. Okay, let's say so for this final state we need to have only the incoming transitions but no outgoing transitions. Okay, let's take one small example. So this is my initial state and some intermediate state, and this is going to be one final state. Okay, so let's take the example very simple. So here this is my initial state. From here I am having transitions like this. Okay, now what actually happened is, this is what happened, something like this. From final state I have transitions to state 2, and I am having, this is my final state. Now from the final state to second state I have some transition, and at the same time let us observe that this is what actually happened. Now as per our rule, what is our rule? The rule says that when we have the final state, this final state should have only the incoming transitions but not any outgoing transitions, which is a complete opposite rule for the initial state. So in such cases what we have to do is, now we need to go for introducing a new final state. Now once we introduce a new final state, now this is 3 and this is 4. Totally now we will be getting 4 states. So this is our initial state 1, 2, and this is 3, and this is 4. Now this is going to be whatever the new state which we have introduced. Now this is going to be our new final state. So whatever the new state which we have introduced, now it will become the new final state. And what about our earlier final state? Now it is not going to be a final state. This is going to be a non-final state. Okay. So now specify the transitions like this: 1, 2, 3, then 3 to 2. Now from this non-final state to, old final state to new final state. Now what we have to do now? We need to specify the epsilon transition. We need to specify the epsilon transition. Understood? Now this is how we need to do some adjustments for our transition diagram. Okay. Before going to start the state elimination method, please remember that we need to do some sort of modifications to our diagram. So what are the modifications? The first one says that if our initial state is having any outgoing transitions, then we need to introduce a new initial state, and from that new initial state to the old initial state, now we need to specify the epsilon transition. That is the first rule. The second rule says that if the final state is having any outgoing transitions, in such cases, now we need to introduce a new final state, and we need to specify the epsilon transitions from all the finals, now all the earlier or old final states to the new final state. Okay, so this is what we have to do. Now once we have done this, then what we can do now? Now we need to select one node at a time, which is going to be the intermediate node in between the initial and final. You can select in any manner. Now we can select. Now please observe, as per this example, we have two nodes, two intermediate nodes in between 1 and 4. Now I can go for removing one node at a time. While removing the nodes, it is possible that either I can go for selecting 2 first or 3 first. That's your wish. Okay. So depending on our wish, we can go for selecting any node for removal. Okay. Now when we are going to remove the node, now here comes some very important properties. Let me take a new document. So when we are going to remove the node, please observe that. So this is one node, and this is a one more node, and this is one more. Now let us observe that. So this is node 1, and this is node 2, and state 2, and this is state 3. And in between this state 1 to state 2, we have a transition with symbol A, and from 2 to 3 we have a transition with input symbol B. Now what I want to do is, I want to remove this node 2, state 2. Please try to understand. Okay, I want to remove this state 2. When I remove this state 2, what is the answer we will be getting? We will be getting the answer having only 2 states. What are the 2 states? 1 and 3. Now we are going to get a direct transition from 1 to 3. Earlier, how I am able to reach state 3? In order to reach state 3, from 1 I need to read input symbol A, then I need to go to B. From 2 I need to read the input symbol B, then I can reach 3. But as this state has been removed now, then how could I reach from 1 to 3? Now for that, now what we have to do? Once we remove this state 2, please have a look at this. So whenever you are going to remove the state 2, there is a possibility that this state will be having many outgoing edges. Please try to listen over here. See, whenever you are going to remove any state, so please have a look at how many number of incoming transitions, how many number of outgoing transitions are there. So for this state 2, I have only one incoming transition and only one outgoing transition. So hence what we have to do is, we need to concatenate each and every incoming transition with each and every outgoing transition. So let me say one small example. This is one state, this is one more state, and here also I am having one more state. Okay, now let us observe that in between these two I am having two transitions like this. Okay, and here I am having some transitions like this, not only for same state to other state also, like this. to a new state like this. Okay, now what we have to do now, for example, these are the two transitions. Now how many outgoing transitions are there? Now I want to remove this node. Now I have, this is A and this is B. Now what we need to do, so this A has to multiply with all the outgoing transitions of this node or state, all the outgoing. In such cases, what will happen? A will multiply with B, A will multiply with C, A will multiply with E. In the same manner, what is the one more incoming edge we have for this removing node? B. So B has to be multiplied with B, B has to multiply with C, B has to multiply with E. Okay. Now this is what actually we call the concatenation operation. We call it like a concatenation operation. In the sense, when you remove some node, if you find any serial kind of transitions, then we go for doing the concatenation. Suppose if you are having some parallel transitions like this, in between two nodes, if you have, after removing some node, if you got two transitions like this in between two, so both are pointing onto same node like this. So this is going to be, for example, this is AB and this is C. Now we technically we call them like a parallel edges. When we have a parallel edges, how do we represent them? So instead of using two edges or two transitions, now we are going to represent it with a single transition, something like AB plus C. AB plus C. Okay, AB plus C. So this is how we are going to work with the parallel edges. And the third scenario is loops. Third scenario is loops. For example, let us observe that this is a state where I am having a transition with the name A. And here I have one more state, something like this one, one more state, which is having transition B. Now, what I want to do is, I want to remove this loop. So, when I want to remove this loop, always remember that. So, whenever you have removed the loop, then automatically that loop term will be represented with A star. Okay, as where I am writing A star here, because this is the transition what I have, that is the reason I am writing A star. Now, once you have removed the loop, please observe that once you have removed the loop, now you need to consider whatever the outgoing transitions are there from that state, all those outgoing transitions has to be multiplied with this loop term. For example, let us observe it is having one more outgoing transition to one more new state. For example, C. Now the new graph or new transition diagram will be like this. So this is one transition and this is going to be one more transition. Now once you remove this, what is the result we got? A star. This A star has to be concatenated with B, so it will result in A star B. So that is the first one, A star B. Then if you observe, for this state we have one more outgoing transition, so hence this loop term has to be multiplied with the C also. Once you do that, it will result in A star C. Okay, so from this what I want to tell you is, so basically when we are going to remove the nodes, so we are going to come across three operations. One is a concatenation operation. Okay, so when we are going to get this concatenation operation, when we have serial edges or serial kind of transitions. Then the second one is union operation. So when we are going to get this union operation, when we are going to have the parallel edges. And then the third operation is closure operation or clean closure operation. So when we are going to use this clean closure operation, when we are going to have a loop. Understood? Now using this information, now what we do, we go for doing the state elimination. Okay, now let's take one small example and we try to do the state elimination. Okay, let's go back to our exercise. Let's have a look at this. Can we go for this exercise? Already this is finished. This is much bigger. It's looking bigger. Okay, let's go for this exercise. We'll do it. So let's take it out. Okay. Now have a look at this. So this is our graph. Now for this graph, now what we have to do? Now we need to simplify. Now in order to simplify this, first of all, what I told you that we need to look for what? The initial state should not have any incoming transitions and the final state should not have any outgoing transitions. But if you observe over here, the problem is the Q1 itself has become the initial state and Q1 itself has become the final state. Now first we'll try to solve the problem of initial state. Then we go for solving the problem of final state. Okay. So once we try to solve the problem of initial state, our graph will look like this. Now this is my initial state and this is going to be my new final state. I mean old final state itself. This is my old final state itself. And then here I have Q2. And here I will be having Q3. Okay. So first let me give the names. So I am calling it Q0. The newly introduced state, I am calling it Q0. And this will be old final state will be Q1. Okay. And then let's go, this will be Q2. This will be Q2. And here we have this one Q2. So first I am solving the problem of initial state. Okay. Now let's go ahead and give the transitions. This is my new initial state and this is the old initial state. From this new initial state to old initial state, what I have to do now? I need to specify the epsilon transition. Okay. Now I have given the epsilon transition. And from Q1 to Q1, the 0 is there as it is. So write it down, no problem. And then Q2 to Q2. So we have transition on 1. Then Q3 to Q1, there is a transition with 0. And Q3 to Q2, sorry, Q3 to Q2, 1. And Q2 to Q3, 0. Next, Q1 to Q2 is 1. Okay. So with this, what has been done so far? Now we have eliminated the problem of incoming transitions to the initial state. Now what we have over here, if you observe thoroughly, this is my final state Q1. For this Q1, what I should have, I need to have only the incoming transitions. But if you observe thoroughly, there are plenty of outgoing transitions are also there for a Q1. Now what I need to do now? Now I need to introduce a new final state. So once I introduce that, now, so what is the next thing is going to happen? So now I am going, my graph will be, I mean transition diagram will be like this. So this is Q0, this is Q1, and this is Q2, Q3, and now here I am going to use the new final state which is Q4. So this is going to be my new final state Q4. Okay, so let us give the names for all these states. So now I am introducing a new final state called Q4. Okay, and here we have a new initial state Q0, and this is our old initial state Q1, and this is our intermediate states. These are our intermediate states. So this is Q2, okay, and this is Q2 and Q3. Okay. Now the next thing we have to do, specify the transitions. So Q0, it is the initial state. So Q0 to Q1. So we have the epsilon transition, no problem. Then, so I already told you from this new final state to, from the old final state to new final state, what we have to do now, we need to give the epsilon transition. So old final state to new final state, we need to give the epsilon transition. Then from Q3 to Q1, we have a transition on 0, and then on Q3 to Q2, we have transition on 1. We have a transition on 1, and then Q2 to Q3, we have transition on 0. We have a transition on 0, and then Q2 to Q2, we have a transition on 1. Next, we have Q1 to Q1 and Q1 to Q2. So Q1 to Q2, we have a transition on 1, and Q1 to Q1, we have a self loop, which is 0. We have transition on 0. Okay. Now please have a look at this. Now, did we solve the problem of having incoming transitions for initial state and having outgoing transitions for final states or not? Yes. Now we have solved the problem by introducing a new initial state. So please remember, this is our new initial state. Okay. So this is our new initial state, and this is our new final state. This is our new final state. Now, totally how many states are there? We have Q0, and then Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. Now, except this final state, what is that? Q4, and except the initial state Q0. Now what we need to do? So we need to go for removing all these 3 nodes. So we need to remove all these 3 nodes. What are those? Q1, Q2, and Q3. Okay. Now what I will do, I will discuss about how I can go for removing the elimination of these nodes, states, in the next class. I will continue it in the next class. Okay, so that's it for today's class. So what we did in today's class is we have worked out one more exercise using the Arden's theorem, and we started the discussion of state elimination method. And in this state elimination method, we have discussed about what are the main principles so to be followed in order to make use of the state elimination method. Okay. So that's it for today's class.